crazy part about my journey is that, when I set foot, on this to begin with, I was in a bad place. And even then, I was still trying to figure out how to get to where I wanted to be, you know, and it was almost like I was living behind a shade or something like that, like I could barely see through, or like a filter or something.
blocking me from getting to where I really wanted to be at, and I didn't even realize I'd become so accustomed to dealing with it that it seemed like everyday life.
What's crazy is that's how I look at this whole thing that we in right now. Like, we just so used to going through stuff and, stuff that tries to break you and sometimes, does break some people, but you manage to get through, you manage to escape and
Live to fight another day, so to say. Um,
That's something else that's grown on us inadvertently. I mean, probably, purposefully by somebody, but or something. But for the most part, when it comes to you and your individual life and the things that you go through, you don't purposely go after bad times or hard times or uh, just not getting to where you want to be at. The stuff is, sure enough, uh, manufactured, but at the same time, I feel like we can beat it. I feel like, I think that you have to understand where you at before you can do anything about where you at. And it ain't necessarily got to go in that order or direction, but for the most part, you kind of got to understand where you at before you can get to where you going. Um, it's real important to stop and take a look at everything and, kind of gauge where you at and where you're trying to go. And
compare the two and see what it is that you could do to, go from step one to step two, and then step two to step.
it's hard to see sometimes though when you been fed this your whole life and hey, this is the way things are and this is how it's going to be. You start, just kind of living that life, man. It's almost like you going down a rabbit hole and, you know, you being tricked into thinking that this is the way it's supposed to be. When, hey, this whole time we should have been having a blast. I'm not saying that, you're not having some kind of blast right now, but maybe it should be 10 times, what it is in a good way, successful way. You know what I'm saying?